Welcome, everyone. Today, I'm here with Rohit Maini, who is an expert who works with over 1,200 small businesses to help business owners really overcome challenges with growth and start to think of new and different ways to overcome those challenges and create new strategies. So, Rohit, it's great to have you here today. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
Rohit, people who are listening to this and watching this are largely solopreneurs. They're network marketers, affiliate marketers. They're trying to build their businesses online. Um, so, what do you have for some really practical advice? What do you see? Well, let me ask you this question first. What do you see the biggest mistakes people are making these days in that kind of business area?
Oh, such a good question. Thank you very much. And the biggest mistake I see is that people aren't being realistic with what they want to try to achieve.
Okay.
And it's often because when you set out a plan as a solopreneur, as an entrepreneur, you want to hit your big goals and maybe you have some big numbers and you get excited and you want to start on this journey. And then you realize being an entrepreneur is like walking through treacle. It's just so difficult. It's so sticky. It's, you had problems you didn't even know you were supposed to have. And it's difficult. And the way that you kind of punch through that a lot of the time is having the motivation to take that extra step to continue to walk through the treacle because it's going to be there either way.
Yeah,
So
it
making
certainly
that
is.
journey is a function of not just all the practical elements of running your business. There will be, focuses there. And we can talk about elements like finance and cash flow and making sure that you've got, systems in place. But what makes you get up in the morning and go? And that's where kind of it's a bit unusual for an accountant like myself to focus on that because I should be numbers and finance and cash flow. But what I see with a lot of my clients is that I can give them great advice. The team can do a great job. That's almost a given. We should be able to do that given our expertise. But it's how do we motivate our clients to take that step, to get up in the morning, to motivate themselves to execute our advice. And so the biggest mistake I see people make, just to circle back, is actually being realistic with their goals. So they feel like they're achieving something. Day one, we all know, we've all got enough experience that we're not going to make $1 million. It's going to take time. We might get there.
Right.
Um, but what's your first practical step? What are you going to do today that's going to make a difference to achieving your goal or hitting your business model or whatever you want to achieve that day? And then you put one foot in front of the other, no matter how small that step is, to achieve that goal. So don't be realistic, and you be realistic by taking advice or searching out for third parties or testing it with your friends and family. Just search out your goals, stick to a plan, run through it. If you don't hit your goal, that's fine. Just take a little step to make sure you try and achieve it the next day and keep moving and keep going forward.
Rohit, I think what you said is absolutely bang on, especially in the world of network marketing, where people are told, oh, you can make six figures just fitting it in the nooks and crannies, working 10 hours a week. Well, I don't know about you, but I've never seen anybody make six figures working just 10 hours a week, starting a new business from scratch. I mean, it's never worked for me. No one's ever shared with me that model where I could make, six figures just working 10 hours a week, starting from ground zero. Um, so I think people do start off with unrealistic expectations. So it's a real challenge, and I think it hurts us in this, especially in the world of online marketing. So how do you readjust and have realistic expectations? And then, as you said, we're just going to be walking through the muck and mire. This is not easy. Entrepreneurship, solopreneurship is not for the faint of heart. How do you keep yourself going when, okay, I thought I made my goals more realistic and I'm still not even making $5,000 a month,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, it's so hard, and to earn even 1 cent, you really have to muck through. And the biggest bit of advice I keep for people is if you're finding things difficult. I've just seen a comment here. It's a lonely journey, Yvonne, and I'll wrap that in because you just it's like you've reached into my brain. But it's such a difficult journey that very often you just need to break down whatever you want to achieve in that day to maybe just the equivalent of half a step or a quarter of a step. Making progress each day will make you feel good. Even at the time, you might feel like you're going through a particular challenge. Perhaps you're a little lonely that day, especially if you're making money online. You sit in front of your laptop, you have a nice, comfortable chair, and you just get on with things. You might talk to a few people or you send a few emails. But in reality, in terms of that interaction with people, it can be difficult. And who do you go to when you have your problems or you hit a snag and all those kinds of things? So having that team around you to encourage you to set what those little practical steps are. So that feeling of progress will give you an element of motivation. But sometimes if you want to take that step and go, I want to win one client this week, and maybe it doesn't happen, but winning two clients next week doesn't make up for it. Well, with that comes a little bit of slice of luck, but also a little bit of hard work. But instead of winning that client, that is a goal that's outside of your control, because the client has to say yes. You can't force them, no matter how you want to. No matter how
Right.
much I've wanted to force my client to
Yeah.
say, take my services, please. But sometimes it doesn't happen. But what you can do is reach out to 100 people, reach out to 1,000 people, reach out to however many people your success rate determines to win that one client. If you've got a 1% success rate, and I'm sure everyone on this call, anyone listening to this, their success rate is going to be a lot higher than 1%. But if it's 1%, that means you need to reach out to 100 people to win one client. So that means you reach out to 100 people. And day one, you reach out to 10. Day two, you reach out to another 10, and you iterate and you see how you can do things better and you learn lessons. And cumulatively over time, you will take those difficult steps. And what you'll find is a half a step or one step. Last year, you'll find you're making leaps and bounds this year. I'm sure of it.
With that, let's talk about growing your business now. What are your key strategies for someone? Let's say someone has started to have some success. Okay. They figured out, all right, when I reach out to X number of people, I get a new customer or a new team member.
Mm.
Um, so they've got that down. But now, let's say I feel like, but it takes everything I've got, to get that one customer. Like I'm only getting one new customer every 3 or 4 weeks, and
Mm.
there aren't enough hours in the day for me to do more of this to get more customers more quickly. What are strategies you have to help your clients grow their businesses?
So first things first, this is where I have to put my accounting hat on, quite sternly. You have to focus on cash flow, because that's where you have the resources to be able to do whatever you want. Now, yes, there are some free tools out there to reach out to customers. Yes, AI is a huge thing, but how does it really work for you and your business? How you can implement it, and is it just buzzwords? But fundamentally, if you've got a bit of cash resource and you've got cash flow, then you can utilize those into more traditional elements that could work, um, such as advertising, Google Ads, and the normal things that people talk about on how to win business. But if you don't have the lifeblood of your business, your cash flow, then all of it just falls away. All your success falls away. So, and I want to make a key determination here. I'm talking specifically about cash flow, i.e., what's coming in and what's going out over a time period, but usually look at a month. And of course, we want to make sure that we have what's coming in greater than any expense. So for me, it's, if you want to grow, set your foundations right, and that first foundation has to be getting to grips with your cash flow. Yes, it might take you time to win those clients, but you will get better at it. Trust yourself. A lot of entrepreneurship and solopreneurship in particular is trusting yourself to be able to say, right, this task took me a week this time. Next week, I'm going to get a little bit better at it. It might take me 6 days, and then 5 days, and 4 days. And then eventually, once your cash flow is managed, you're able to hire someone and then train them to do it. It might take them 6 or 7 days, but at least you're not then utilizing your time to do that particular task, and you can float back into other tasks within your business. So, but that only fundamentally comes down to what are your resources and what you're capable of. So, my biggest area and focus for clients and growth is to say, firstly, you have a resource to do it. Now, secondly, whatever step then you do take to achieve your business growth will come as a function of what your specific business is. But fundamentally, um, leads and sales are going to cure pretty much whatever problem you have within your business. If you have to improve your processes, if you have to improve any other elements, that's fine. That means you're getting better at it. But if you've got a client in front of you and you're making money, then you've got more resource to be able to hire that extra person, invest in that sort of bit of software that will make you more efficient, and or even just hire someone part-time to just do a little bit of work for you. So you've got to focus on cash flow. That's my view.
Yeah. Now, for most people who are online marketers, whether they're network marketers or affiliate marketers,
Mhm.
leads is the single biggest challenge, finding qualified leads. So you're preaching to the choir on that front. Um, but it's not easy these days. I love what you're talking about cash flow, and for most people, this is a massive problem because in our industry, the network affiliate marketing industry, there's so many people who they simply don't have the cash flow to go out and buy leads. And so many of us, and myself included, have tested all kinds of advertising and all kinds of paid lead sources with no results. No results. Now, I've been fortunate, I've been extremely successful getting organic leads, initially through LinkedIn and more recently through YouTube. I mean, I can crush it on YouTube, but for those people that just don't, well, I frankly would tell everybody, like, don't pay for leads. I
Mhm.
have not found a successful way to pay for leads. And there are extremely few people that I know of that have found a successful way to pay for leads. So this is the critical problem for network and affiliate marketers is finding those leads. And I mean, it's true, you need more leads to turn into more customers, to turn into more team members, but it's a challenge. And here's another question for you then. Um, one of the things that we're all finding is that there are new network and affiliate marketing companies popping up left, right, and center.
Mhm.
And there is so much competition now. So, for example, the latest, greatest rage seems to be savings clubs of some kind or another. You're going to save money on all your dining out and shopping at big box stores and travel and this and that and the other thing. It's like whack-a-mole. They're popping up left, right, and center. And so let's say you've worked really hard and you've got a group of people who've joined you in this particular network marketing company A, and then another new competitor pops up, a week from now, and another one pops. I just heard about another one today. It's
Mhm.
like, really? So, how do you keep yourself? What do you do as that entrepreneur, the solopreneur, to differentiate yourself so that it's not about necessarily this, company A being different from company B, being different from company C, because frankly, what I see is extremely little difference between all of them. So I believe we have to differentiate ourselves
Mhm.
so we build that know, like, and trust factor, and then people stay with us. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I really enjoyed that premise because for me, I fundamentally believe that people do business with people they like, and that's as simple as that. I don't want to sort of go into any necessary theories around it. For me, it's literally just I know if I can make a client, the one thing I try and do when I meet prospective clients is I try and make them smile or laugh because I know if there's that kind of relationship tone set within that conversation, then they like me a little bit more. And if they like me a little bit more, then they're more amenable to the service I'm going to pitch. But very often, I mean, there's loads of sales techniques out there, and whichever one you find works for you. But for me, I'm very much about the subtle sell. I don't walk in there and go, I'm a chartered accountant, I've got 1,200 plus clients, I'm going to do a great job for you. Well, okay, that's great, but there are plenty of other chartered accountants who are equally as qualified, equally as well, probably have many more clients and have maybe sector specialisms. They'll be able to differentiate themselves. But how about having a lovely conversation about whatever you want to talk about? Connecting with that person, finding what they like, what they dislike. So, um, fundamentally, the lead, i.e., actually getting in front of someone, probably is a mixture of a little bit of everything. Reaching out on LinkedIn, reaching out through other social media platforms, having a great website, a great shop front. If you're in the retail business, then of course, physically having a shop front in your store looking as good as it can be. All those elements all contribute to, do I want to do business with this person? And then when they meet you and get that great opportunity, it's your chance to show who you are. And you will meet people that you'll get on with, and you'll meet people that you won't get on with. Feel comfortable with that. Sometimes there's not a meeting of minds. You can't sell to all, 7, 8 billion people on the planet, but that's fine. You don't need to. You just need to find your niche, your corner of the world, and charm them. Now, that can be done online, of course. You can show your personality online. And you do that very well, Gloria, if you don't mind me saying so, with all of your social media, how you outreach on LinkedIn, how you create your posts on your YouTube. You're getting yourself out there. All that is forming up a picture of who Gloria is. And so, therefore, people, when they come to you and they want to do business with you, however that looks, they've
Well,
already got a
that's
picture.
yeah, I mean, for the viewers and listeners to this,
Mm.
unless they've got some other business, we don't have storefronts. We don't have physical locations. So your social media presence is your storefront, right? Your banner and what you're posting and putting out there on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, that is your storefront. And that is so important to be out there and quote unquote be open, right? Be open for business and show people. So do you have any recommendations for how to differentiate yourself in the world of social media?
Mm. I mean, for me, it's I look at what my competition is doing and try to do something a little bit different. But mainly, I try to back, who I am and what I'm capable of, because I know we've got a track record and I know we can deliver. All I need to do is reach more people and get exposure. And part of that, and which this is what we talk about on a lot of our social media points, on LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever we've got a social media platform, we try and be there. But on our own podcast as well, and having our own show, but it's all about showing, who we are as a business and what are our values. Can I connect with you on a particular topic and talk about it professionally and properly, and so that it can help you in whatever way and try to connect it with your particular circumstance. But social media, first things first, is about being consistent. You have to keep doing it. You have to set, even if your goal is to post once every couple of days, do that and stick to it and make sure that that goal is manageable. If you can't do that and you can do twice a week, do twice a week. There are plenty of guidance out online in terms of when you should post and on which particular platforms. For example, on LinkedIn, they generally encourage posting either at lunchtime or in the morning, so that you can catch people on their journeys into work or when they're at their breaks. Generally, in the afternoon, people are on other social media platforms. So that's when you might want to focus on, say, Instagram or TikTok or whatever. But again, as I sort of touched on before, having a little bit of a presence on all of the platforms rather than necessarily, gunning in on TikTok, for example, helps you spread across different clientele and different people that you're reaching. And once you found a formula and you found a little topic that you're talking about, or the way you're talking about it, or whatever iteration you end up settling on, double down, do a bit of research, see why it works, and double down. And once you found a little formula, then you can leverage the little audience that you're building and growing and take it from there. But you've got to be on social media. And I know it's very uncomfortable. When I first started getting on camera, I hated it. I probably had 300 takes. My lovely wife was doing all the filming and she got really frustrated with me and sort of going, why are you here and doing this, and your shirt's all messed up and all the rest of it. But we've got a little bit more experience now, and less of those bits come through, and I'm a little bit more slick. And hopefully in a couple of years' time, as I keep doing it, you get even better. But you're never going to jump on camera and look perfect. Just crack on with it, keep consistent, find your iterative sort of winning formula, and double down and crack on.
Great. Rohit, anything else you want to share with our listeners and viewers to wrap this up and finish it off?
Absolutely. I think the one thing I'm focusing on right now, and I think it's something perhaps as reflective of me, is I really want to motivate people to take that next step, because I know how hard it is to take that first step or to take that next step. And in entrepreneurship, a lot of the times the businesses that you run are very reflective of who you are, and how they move is very reflective of how you move personally. Sometimes if you go for a job, it's a 9 to 5, you clock in, you clock out. Are you as productive that day? If you're not, then that's okay generally.
Right.
But as an entrepreneur, if you don't tick those boxes, if you don't move the business forward, no one's doing it for you. So the thing that I focus on so much is that, look, there's great people who give great advice. And I'd like to think I'm one of them, but I'm not going to say that there are plenty of the people that don't do that. Of course they are. But my view, and which is why I really focus on the podcast, which is called Everyday Empires, is that we focus on people who have built relatable businesses, who are relatable people. So you can take their story and use it to inspire, whatever journey you're on. And some of these guys, yeah, they have massive businesses and they're doing really well. Some of them are solopreneurs, like a lot of people on this call, a lot of people that are listening. So for me, it's, find out why you want to do what you're doing. And if it's a financial reward, be honest with yourself and create a
Mhm.
system around why it's that financial reward. Understand a little bit about why it is, and then double down on it. Don't be ashamed of it. Crack on. If your motivation is to build, the world's greatest accounting practice, then do that. Define it and do it. But finding your why and finding that sort of reason to get out of bed and really crack on, however way you do it, is my focus right now. And I'd love everyone to take half a beat just to think about why that is the case, because then tomorrow when they wake up again, you have a reason for, when you're going through something probably quite difficult, and a client is giving you a bit of nonsense or something that's not quite right in your business. You've got that little reason in the back of your mind as to why you're doing it, and you pick yourself up and you go again. And the winning moments feel great as an entrepreneur, but in the morning you could be winning, in the afternoon you could be losing, and that's fine. And
Isn't
I'm
that the
sure we've
truth?
all, oh my god, it's just terrible, but that's part of the journey, and that's okay. And you'll have your great moments, you have your not so great moments, but celebrate the wins, smooth out the losses. A great mentor of mine said, look, if your day's not going very well, sleep as early as you can, finish it off as quickly as you can, get your head on that pillow, get to sleep, and the next day will come and you can crack on. So that's my focus right now.
Love it. So again, Rohit, your podcast is everydayempires.com, correct?
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Great.
We're
Thank
on
you
all
so
the
much.
social media platforms.
Great. Thank you so much, Rohit. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Gloria.